BO7, but while we're on the conversation about talking about Atlanta, we did recently just run an event while we were in Atlanta at Dreamhack Atlanta. As you guys know, we saw a lot of amazing creators there, and it was an amazing time meeting all of you, and would definitely love to, have Dom touch up on that a little bit more.
Yeah. DreamHack Atlanta was this Halloween weekend. I think now it's been 2 or 3 weeks have passed. I feel like it was yesterday, to be honest with you. That the weekend went by so fast, and I'm still kind of recovering from it. But it was a great event. We had a high tide after party on that Friday night. A lot happens at that after party, and even leading up to the after party hours beforehand. I do want to talk about this because I kind of briefly touched about it on X afterwards, talking about how our first venue canceled on us within like 2 hours of the event. It was a very stressful time. I remember coming out the shower, getting ready to head to this old venue, and I see the text saying, "Hey, it's canceled. Sorry. LOL. Good luck." Essentially, uh, and it was very very stressful. So I do want to shout out Kavari's Kava Bar, or yeah, Kavari's Kava Bar in Atlanta. They were able to host our event with literally an hour and a half notice. So shout out to them. It was a little bit further than what we wanted to host the event originally, which was closer to the Georgia World Congress Center. But the fact that we were able to get an event last minute from them was amazing. So shout out to them. It was a whole situation. I'm telling you, if you guys were there, I was stressing. I remember sitting outside on like the living room of our Airbnb, sending DMs to everyone on our RSVP list that I could, literally an hour before the event. So if you showed up to the new event venue location, thank you. I had a few people DM me saying that they came to the old location and ended up not showing up to the new one. I totally get it. I would too if I had to pay for an Uber and it wasn't even the right location. So no worries there. But thank you all for attending. It was a great time. What did you think about the after party, Russ?
It's honestly a blast meeting so many new creators, and just do want to highlight on the point of we are sorry to all the creators who weren't able to attend due to the event, just the event change. We are expecting come May that we'll be hosting something even bigger and better this year, so you guys stay prepared. We got some big things in the work, and we can't wait to share them with you guys. While we're talking about the actual after party, we saw so many crowds of different people come through. We saw a Kick crowd come through. We saw the Rumble crowd come through, and obviously we had Twitch streamers there. It was cool to see people creating content in the moment and actually see the content creators, that you see on X all the time. Was definitely a blast just to see their process and see how they work through their content. And like I said, just a blast to meet all the many and new faces that we were able to meet. We had the High Tide community come together, and as you know, we call you guys the High Tide fam on Twitter, and this is why we call you guys the High Tide fam. We're all family. We want to know each and every one of our members of our community personally, and we're glad that we were able to meet most of you live while we were at DreamHack Atlanta, and we can't wait to see some of you guys again.
Yeah, it was a great time, and I know we called it the High Tide After Party, but it was also a very good like networking social. The people we met, you mentioned we had a lot of Kick and Rumble creators there. The Rumble community came through to our after party. I'll tell you that. I definitely want to shout out a few creators that I met and networked with at the after party, like Midnight in the Mountains, Hemp Hero, CB Money, and Pudge. I didn't see him at the event. I know he had to kind of leave right before the event started. I still do want to thank him because he kind of helped start and grow our Rumble community in general. So he's been a great help there. And I was just excited to meet everyone there. We met so many people at the after party, including the owner of Power IRL, which is the IRL streaming company as well, which was really, really cool. He was a great guy. So shout out to Sneaka Playa. And it was fun. We also met people at the actual DreamHack event itself on Saturday. Good time. And aside from the DreamHack event, let's talk about the Airbnb and let's talk about what it was like meeting a lot of these high tide creators, at least in my experience for the first time. I know you've met some of them with Hype in your past, but man, some characters, man. I really, really loved everyone
Well,
we
that,
met.
that, that was actually my first time for everyone that was there outside of Monte.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean,
I,
I loved meeting Heathen for one. Sage Sen as well. I mean, Sage is such a nice guy. I can't even begin to describe how nice he was and how kind and welcoming he was.
Sage is one of the realest ones out there. While we were talking about shout outs, shout out Sage and shout out for what he does for Meld. You know, pushing Meld to the sky, as everyone who was at Atlanta saw. If you know about Meld, I mean, you also know about Sage.
Hmm.
Y'all keep on showing that man some love. He is a workhorse. He cooks with whatever he does, you know. And like Dom said, he's one of the nicest and most caring people in the world. Like honestly, that man is a gift to the world, and just show him the love he deserves while we can, you know.
For sure. I also, like I said, I mentioned Heathen. He was great meeting in person. Frank, his homie, really, really funny. Um, Definitely going to be a high tide creator. I loved everything about Frank. And everyone else, you know, I think I loved meeting Monte. I liked meeting Slayer. Slayer was really, really cool. Um, but really, it was the creators that I really enjoyed meeting for the first time. And heading into the next event, it's something that I want to kind of prioritize more, is hanging out with the creators a little bit more and getting more content recorded as well. So we talked about the Airbnb and meeting the high tide creators. We talked about our after party. What did you think about the actual DreamHack event itself? What were your favorite takeaways from that event?
Dreamhack, if you are viewing this video, you need more vendors. You did not have enough vendors. And yes, that is mainly my main thing. I went in 2024. One of the hugest parts of the convention was that they had about probably an eighth of the arena full with vendors. Which, don't get me wrong, there was a sizable floor this time around, but it felt like it was only bigger booths. Whereas the previous year they had a lot of smaller booths and a lot of homemade creations. So you saw a lot of variety of product while you were there. Whereas this year we saw the generic gaming product that is usually marketed through online, which isn't really much of a difference for creators, sadly. I feel like a lot of when DreamHack was pushing the smaller artists, they did a lot better vendor wise, which, and on the other end of things, they absolutely killed the esports scene. All the fighting tournaments were absolute fire. I think it was a $2.5 million SNK tourney.
Oof.
Absolutely heat. One of the, like, you were gripping your chair. While we were at the event, you know, we saw Marvel Rivals. I know that was more your thing that you were in, but I caught a couple matches. Specifically, I think it was 100 Thieves versus Liquid that I watched. I want to say it was that match. I'm not 100% sure, guys, though. Don't quote me on that. Give me some grace with that. Yo, boy does not, you know how it is. We here. But when we look at the actual event, the turnout was huge for Atlanta. I think it's probably one of the biggest events they've hosted in years. Even looking through the actual socials, you can see how many people were there and how many people were going through the doors each and every day. And it's just crazy to be a part of something like that. So I'm just happy to really say I was a part of that and that I went. It was a blast on my part. If we're gonna rank it on the scale of 1 to 10, you know, 9.5. Y'all absolutely crushed at DreamHack Atlanta, and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't been to any previous DreamHacks, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But the turnout was great. I love that it happened on Halloween weekend. The weather was like just right. It wasn't too cold. It wasn't too hot. Nice weather. Everyone was in costumes or cosplays. It was a really good vibe. Everyone there was really nice. So I did like the event. You mentioned esports. We're kind of flipped. You like more of the fighting games and SNK. I really loved Marvel Rivals, especially it being the finals for their first season. I was really curious to see what A, the esports fan turnout was going to be like, and B, just to see what it was like to see one of these events in person. And the only thing complaint I guess I have with the Marvel Rivals esports is that the NA teams didn't make it to the finals. FlyQuest and 100 Thieves, y'all let me down for sure. Navi was good. I'll give y'all that. You know, shout out to Navi for winning because they were on top of their stuff, and Virtus Pro as well. on the EU side. But man, I was really rooting for FlyQuest and 100 Thieves and for the Americans to take it home, and they did not. I think the next DreamHack Atlanta is going to be even bigger, for being honest. And I'm really, really excited for that, especially for the esports that are going to be happening in the next one in May, just because I'm a big Call of Duty fan. I know CSGO is a massive esport, and Halo as well is going to be really, really fun. So I think the turnout next year in May is going to be even better. So I'm excited for that.
I completely agree. They hit the holy trifecta. That's what we love calling it
Mm-hmm.
here. Holy trifecta of FPS is right there. Where can you can't go wrong with COD, CS:GO, and Halo. You're hitting all the OGs in one place. When you think in terms of FPS history, those are some of the games that headline FPS history. They all made their mark in FPS history, and hopefully we'll see them not have any fall from grace, but keep on maintaining their position and keep on rolling steady. Theme up.
I agree. I think too, we're seeing DreamHack host a lot of Call of Duty events specifically now. I think they're hosting all of the ones in Europe as well, in Paris and in Birmingham, UK. So I kind of like the partnership that the CDL and DreamHack are starting to create, because in the past I've been to a lot of Call of Duty events and they used to host it on their own. And there's nothing wrong with hosting it on their own. Back in the day especially, they would draw big, big crowds. But I think having CDL as a partnership with an actual DreamHack convention is going to be great for the scene. It's going to be great for Call of Duty and to bring more eyeballs into the scene as well. So I really, really like that partnership.
I completely agree with you, bro.
Awesome.